If you love hip-hop, if you are a Montrealer, if you're a purist, maybe not as deep as Vince, because Vince has been all over the world. You know what I mean? I need all of the Cypher X merch. This Friday, 10-year anniversary.
Yes.
10
years.
10 years of Cypher X. If you guys post one more artist on IG, I'm telling you,
I'm like,
is this
everybody's coming.
Is this America's Got Talent? Is this American Idol? How much people are you guys going to have at Cypher X this Friday?
We currently stand at 46 artists.
Wow. Now, you guys heard Gino a couple weeks ago. He said you guys going to play the beats and it's just going to be very like organic and people jump into it. Yeah. Oh boy, you gotta let me bless it like a Kanye Sunday service.
Hey, I'm Kanye. We talked about this. Kanye East over here.
Oh, I didn't do that too yet. See, he's one of those eager ones. Vince he wants to go ahead of he wants to preface the intro.
He's more in the Kirk Franklin, you know. All together now.
He goes by the moniker Kanye East. You may also know him if you've seen him in France as Le Connard Confit. It's Quebec, so you know what it means. He is the touring guru. He's one of the hip-hop aficionados. Yeah, I got the word out, 10 letters, aficionados of Montreal. We are honored to have him on here, Mr. Vincent. We saw each other at a Max Duplessis recording. I think we're in that same set. See, you remember. I'm a forgettable blackface. You know what I mean? Black bottles only. You know how we're doing things.
Now I'm like, that's... Yes, okay.
We met at Travis.
Me too, yeah.
He's one of the deepest, purest guys when it comes to the love and appreciation for hip-hop. Vincent's in the booth. Tonight is the Cypher X 10-year anniversary. We will be in the building, the Morning Detour. It's hip-hop. It's organic. Some of the best artists in the city. A lot of people from that are performing have reached out to me to get interviews on the show. So thank you for that. Yeah. So welcome to the show. I want to talk hip-hop. I want to talk Cypher X. I want to talk merch. But let's start here. When did you first fall in love with hip-hop?
Ooh. Well, I'm 48.
Okay, and I'm 38.
I'm gonna start right there.
I'm 40.
So, my high school was the beginnings of like mainstream hip hop on the radio.
Yeah.
I'm a little embarrassed to say this, but I was listening to like, MC Hammer and Maestro Fresh West and like all this early 90s, this was it. And it was just, everyone was like, what is this? I was like, this is incredible. And that was like the gateway into like, Tribe Called Quest and all kinds of other stuff from there. But I fully admit my first experiences with hip hop were super commercial, super mainstream. It was what was on the radio, But yeah, that was it. High school, also listened to like, I guess Michael Jackson was like the first music that I liked, as opposed to like my parents giving me like a little something to listen to. I was like, what is this? This is insane, But then in high school, Janet Jackson, Rhythm Nation, all that stuff, all the hip hop at that time. I was big into, I'm not embarrassed about this. I was big into Digital Underground. I still love Digital Underground.
No, Digital Underground, that's deep hip hop cuts. Yeah. That's deep cuts.
Yeah. So that was kind of the beginnings of it for me, 90s. 2000s, and then it was always part of my life, but it was never like music was never like, let's do this for making a living. Like this was not anywhere in the realm of possibility. But eventually when I started Cypher, I started basically saying like, look, if this is going to be a hip hop night, I got to know something about hip hop, and not just the hip hop I loved when I was a kid or the hip hop I've been listening to. Like there's so much more to it. Like before Cypher started, I never listened to Drake. You know what I mean? I was not on Team Drake. I'm a big Drake
guy.
Now this is the thing. So then I started like, look, I gotta like he's the number one hip hop artist in the world.
Yeah,
I have to listen. And then I started listening. I'm like, this is good. So I turned around, and then I started listening to more and more stuff that I at the time was like, I was very much an old head. I'm like, this mumble rap, it's not real.
Some of it is trash, but some of it is good. Lil Baby is good. Young Thug is good.
And like I love Migos. I love all these artists. Like they're so incredible. Bobby Shmurda, they're amazing. So like I learned so much about it and realized that I'd been not shutting myself off, but like I kind of stopped, with Golden Age hip hop and Tribe, Busta Rhymes, and all this stuff was like, this is it.
This is it.
It's like, no, there's so much more. And keep going with it. And now, I haven't stopped, and you just keep discovering more. You keep going further back in the past. You keep going further back into what's going on today. You keep on learning more things. Like it's unbelievable.
And it's kind of like basketball too, where hip hop has gone so international now. Now there's different countries that we can explore too, and they have their own spin on what we've built here in North America as well. So, well, you know what they're doing in the UK is beautiful with the grime.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Oh my god.
Yo, there's something about the track pants with the shiesty and the little purse. There's something hard about that. That Top Boy flow, you're mad, bruv. You're mad, bruv. You get me?
Come on, bruv. We got to give money to bruv. Like, that's...
you know what's funny?
You know.
Me and Vita are business partners, so we message each other a million times a day. And then she'll just go into this pan when she just starts talking British. She's like, in it. I'm like, what are you on, bro? Like, but we're such deep hip-hop purists. Was like, what's frustrating being in Montreal is that like, I feel like we can't seem to get an edge on it. Yes, we have people like the Nate Hussers. Yes, we have people like the Nia Lees, who are a little bit more established and are earning ground nationwide and, you know, North American success. Sha Frank is coming up as well, too, about to book that interview. You know, that's going to be a big one, too. But it never seems to feel like we're catching up to Toronto. It never feels like we're making our stand like this is the Montreal sound. Or maybe my question is wrong. Do we need to have a Montreal sound? Or do we need to just do better at just, I guess, homegrowning our artists? Because I feel there's so much talent. Me and Vita have been in a million studio sessions. I've been all over the city, East, West. I've done Hood mixtapes coming up. We're now selling clothes from New York. And I can't seem to figure out how come we can't just blow up.
That's a really deep question.
I know it's a black bottle combo question.
Yeah, that's a really deep question. I mean, there's so much you can... I mean, I don't know the answer for sure, but there's so, like, okay, you know, the one thing that is blowing up, not necessarily out of Montreal, but out of Quebec in general, is what is often referred to as rap keb, which does have a unique sound and is very distinct and whatever. And I don't even, I'm not saying anything against it, you know, but I would love to hear, like, A La Claire Ensemble, I think is amazing. Like, there's so many great artists, you know, but I would like to see more diversity in the success of hip-hop coming out of here. Shall we put it that way? You know?
Oh, man, that's deep.
Like, well, you know, like we did a show at the Francophonie a few years ago. It was, we called it Rap Cap All-Stars. Basically, I pitched it to Franco's, and I was like, hey, what if we did like a show where Urban Science Cypher is backing up like all these big names of hip-hop from Quebec, from Montreal for the last like 20, 30 years, you know? And we did that, but I couldn't help but notice that there was such a stark difference between the originators, the ones who really were starting it back in the day, and the current popular artists. You know, I'm not going to say it, but, you know, you just
No,
look.
say it's the This is the ultimate urban road show in the country. If you're going to say anything, this is a safe space.
We went from Sans Pression to Inima. Basically.
And you know what's messed up? They make it seem like because we do a hip hop show in English, I came up on Dubmatic. I came up on Sans Pression. I'm going to reach out to them for a Black Bottle Combo because it's important for me, especially as an Anglophone growing up in hip hop, you know, heavily influenced by American hip hop. You'll never think like, yo, I love SP. I love Dubmatic. I came up on that.
Don't forget to call Chuck Ice. He's in the mix. He got plaques for that.
I think it's important, you know, same way you're saying, like, when you start Cypher X, you want to make sure that you're well-versed on hip-hop culture. And the same thing when you do radio, right? Like, you can't say you're an urban radio host if you're not deep in the culture. I feel there's never enough, and that's one of the things I love about hip-hop. We never know enough. There's so much innovation, so much things going on. Now we're in this weird space now.
Well, it's also partly like, you know, this is, you know, I can't help but for those who are listening to this on the radio, first of all, I'm Chinese.
It's a safe space.
So, yeah, exactly.
No, they'll see the video. It's on YouTube.
I'm Chinese, I'm Canadian, you know, all these kinds of things. And I can't help but think, like, every time I've been to the States and been to like a hip hop night or something, there was almost no golden age hip hop being played. I have no problem with golden age hip hop or anything. I love Tribe. I love all these, you know. But you come to a Canadian hip hop night and it's all this old stuff, and it's like, what happened? We like lost the connection to the lineage, you know, the history of it. It's like, what's going on here? So I think it was just partly that realization. It's like, well, I don't want to be another one of these sort of uninformed, you know, outsiders looking in. I'm like, let's see what's out there. And it's also just reconnecting with your roots. You know, I've always loved hip hop. So why did I just sort of, I wouldn't say I stopped listening, but I wasn't like actively seeking out new music, all this kind of thing. I think it's also partly like I'm a saxophonist and keyboard player. Like I focus so much on crazy saxophone players and keyboard players. You know what I mean? Like,
we gonna need you. We got something for you in the background. Don't worry about it.
But, you know, it's like I'm focusing on that music. I'm like, oh, yeah, there's also like all this hip hop that I used to listen to, and I'm not listening to it anymore. Why?
Yeah.
This doesn't make any sense. You go back, and then you realize, oh, my God, this is so deep. This is incredible. You know, so I think that was all part of it.
What was the initial vision when you created Cypher X?
Well, so, yeah, that's another good question. I guess I'll give the history, like, real quick.
No, we got time for you.
I can talk for 2 hours. I'm just
No, save some of that for the Black Bottle convo. But listen, they're driving. They're on the Metro.
Yeah.
Please don't touch the railings. There's a lot of things on there. Yeah, the new Metro's kind of shaky, though. I ain't going to hold you.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
You got to be safe with that. I know.
Well, it's the thing that moves like that.
Yeah, we're not prepared for that. And, you know, and quick segue. The Metro going outside that they're building to the West Island, we're not ready for that. Because I experienced that Metro in Vancouver. We get much heavier zone than Vancouver.
Of course.
So you know when the Metro goes outside and the snow accumulates, you know the Metro's going to have to stop, right?
I have a lot to say about Metro systems. I'm not going to talk about that right now.
No,
I'll talk about origins
for
of Cypher.
Well, the show's called The Morning Detour. We'll save that for the back end.
There you go.
Give us the origin of the Cypher X.
Yeah, so I used to play with Nomadic Massive.
Oh, that's what's up.
Great multilingual hip-hop band, for those who don't know. And I was touring with them a little bit, and we went to New York, and there's a friend of mine that I knew from Community, another great band.
Yeah.
Community, and Jordan Peters, guitar player, was playing in this event called, or this band called The Lesson. I thought it was a band.
I went to high school with Jordan Peters.
Oh my God, are you serious?
I'm dead serious. We rode the same school bus. We lived on Denani Road. We went to the same high school, same grade school too. Yeah. I'm not even joking.
This is in
Lachute.
Yeah, that's it. Because I forget where he's from.
We're moving to Lachute. I tell you that right now.
He was like, even in grade 6, he was a talented guitarist.
Sure, I believe it. Yeah.
And then I seen him years later when he was opening. Who did he open up for at the Jazz Fest? It was. Not Lauryn Hill. Was it Lauryn Hill?
Well, he played with Lauryn
for
Hill
her house band, didn't he?
Yeah.
We need to get him on the
later,
show.
And I'm like,
absolutely.
I need all the
he lives
Lauryn.
in New York now. So.
No.
Yeah.
This is web technology. I need all the Lauryn stories.
One of the few people. Like,
He
it's
may
wild,
not be willing
though.
to say them on the air. I don't know.
But it's so wild. Like, you know, it's a small world. Like, especially Quebec. And
it's
he's
hip-hop.
one of the artists that made it out of Quebec.
Yeah.
Quite honestly, it's
hip-hop.
we have this invisible barrier that keeps us here for some reason. Sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, you got to get out. You know, you got to get out. It's one of these things of like, you know, Montreal. We have a somewhat good connection with New York because we're so close. Physically, it doesn't take long to get there. But, you know, if you look at the connection between, like, if you're thinking about, like, whether it's hip hop or pop or whatever kind of mainstream musical styles, I guess we can say those. Yeah, LA is like, you know, the where you go to become something. You know what I mean? And the connection between Toronto and LA is much stronger than between Quebec and LA.
Yeah.
Partly language thing, but partly, you know, when we think about Montreal versus Toronto, Toronto's like big business. Well, guess what? That works with LA's type of vibe.
So,
you know what I mean?
So real quick, I want to interject there because one of the greatest clips that we posted was what Gino was talking about. And Gino was saying that in Quebec, they would rather not make money with you because they don't like you. And you know what I'm saying? And that's going to be, you know, as we go into 2025, that's going to be the premise. How do you feel about that? The fact that in the States, they'll get money with you even though they don't like you. Growing up, when I was 19, I met these guys, ex-Navy SEAL from upstate Albany.
Okay.
He was selling clothes. I sold clothes to these guys for many years. That's why I paid for college and university. And one of the things he always taught me, he said, one time we're chilling in New York, and he's like, I could live next door to a Ku Klux Klan, man. So imagine me, I'm 20 years old, I'm going to Champlain College. I think I just met Joe Black. And I'm like, I'm from the hood, from Côte d'Ivoire. You could live in. He's like, at least I know where he's coming from. Some of these beliefs will never shape how the money comes in. And that's what Gino was playing in. So I don't know if you want to elaborate a little bit what Gino's talking about. Where in Quebec, they won't make money, even though they know it's a sure thing. Yeah. They still make money just because of personal things. And it's a weird attitude, and I think it holds us back from getting that Toronto kind of aspect of it. And not about us, Montreal, being like Toronto, but it's a business mind state. It should be about the dollars first and your personal feelings later. Is it business or is it personal?
Well, I mean, again, there's so much to unpack there. I mean,
no, take your time.
This is almost a bigger question about society as a whole. Like, in the sense of, like, we have a system here. Like, okay, as much as we're complaining about what we've got in Quebec and in Canada and all this kind of thing, there is a system of funding for the arts, of grants, of all this kind of thing that if you manage to tap into that system, it can be great, you know? And it's not something that I tapped into at all until the pandemic hit. And it was like, oh, there's no more gigs. We can't like run our own business, but they're throwing money at the arts. If I don't ask for it, somebody else gets it.
Exactly.
You know?
Or it gets back into the kitty.
I guess. But it's
Who's the kitty?
Oh, it's the slush fund. It goes back to where it came from.
Yeah.
Like if nobody's claiming it, they'll just redistribute it to other things.
Honestly, the number of people that are asking for stuff, because I didn't do it, but the number of I've been asked to be on a jury for Canada Council and all this kind of thing. Like the number of people that are asking for stuff is very high.
No, I believe that.
It's to the point that they almost sometimes are like, oh God, like we have this money. I don't really think this person is there, but we have this budget.
Okay, so hold on.
They filled out the application.
Okay, so hold on. So right there.
So you got to ask for it first.
What is expected? What's expected for someone's like, listen, I'm in the arts. There's these grants I keep hearing about that's available. A lot of people are deterred from it, thinking that okay, you just have to do arts that's in French. What is really expected?
Well, I think number one is a quality proposal, a quality project that is. I mean, they all have these different criteria for these grants, so that's a whole complicated kind of thing. But a quality project that also the proposal seems to be believable. So what I mean is, let's say like, I don't know, you say you want to start up, we're here on a radio show. Let's say we want to start up a radio show, but start up a podcast, a podcast, and you say, well, every show, I want the host to be paid $5,000. Like, who are your hosts? Why is, you know what I mean? So they look at this and they're like, that doesn't make any sense, So the proposal has to make some kind of sense. Or they say like, we're going to do 3 episodes. What's your total budget? $50,000. Like, what in the world is this? What are you like flying and jumping out of a plane? Like, what's going on? Like, So yeah, the proposal has to make sense. It has to be sort of perceived as like culturally valuable, whatever that means. That's so super subjective. But I'd say like the people who are on, okay, so there was this year we've been doing this series of workshops. We call them Lab X. They're all about like teaching musical skills, music business, all this kind of stuff to both people who are like self-taught as well as people who went to like McGill Jazz School
or Trebas
or whatever, like the whole range, Right. And we applied for it a year ago and didn't get it. Then I contacted the Canada Council. I said, I just want to know why we didn't get it. Can we get some feedback, blah, blah, blah. And they were great. I talked to this guy. The guy, I was on a call with him, and he was like, I used to run hip-hop events here in Ottawa. I just read your thing, and, like, this sounds amazing. We need this. And let me just figure out why you didn't get it. And so he kind of helped me with it. They can't give you, like, specific feedback on specific grants, but we talked back and forth, and he gave me some very valuable feedback. I asked for it again, and now we have the grant, and we're doing the series of workshops.
So listen, I got time with you guys because I'm out here like Rockefeller 1999, like Jay-Z and Dame. I ain't selling no drugs, but God, if I work another job, I might be
cocktails.
We might be over the mountain, but no, we gonna talk. We gonna talk, man. Yeah. I'm out here killing myself. People getting grants, and their show's not even half of what we do.
That's what I'm talking about.
No, but
it's got to be good.
No, but listen, man. I know to make it good.
We got the clips, we got the numbers.
So let's get back to it, man. The Cypher X.
Oh, how we got started. That's how we. Yeah. Okay. So no, but that's fine.
But see, hip hop is like that. We get No, that's a good cut. That was a good segue right there.
So my friend Jordan Peters, New York. I was on tour with Pneumatic Massive. I was there, and I went to see this night called The Lesson. I checked it out, and honestly, I didn't really like it. Like the first set, I was like, it's okay, I went to talk to Jordan afterwards, and Jordan said, hey, great to see you. Did you bring your horn? Did you bring your saxophone? I'm like, why would I bring my saxophone? It's not just a show, it's a jam session. Anybody can come up and sit in. I was like, oh, this puts it in a different thing. And I stayed. And then MCs started coming and all these different instrumentalists came up. And I was like, oh my God, this is a live band hip hop jam session every Thursday night in New York at a place called Arlene's Grocery. It blew my mind. It completely blew my mind. And I came out of that being like, Montreal needs this.
Yeah, we need
Montreal
that.
needs this.
We need that.
Montreal is, you know what I mean? We'll do our own version. I went a couple of times. I eventually did sit in. But I sat down with Jordan and I was like, okay, how does it work? Like, how do you charge? How much do you charge at the door? Then all this kind of questions. Started to come up with our version. We started in October 2014 at the Belmont. Yeah. And then we eventually we moved to a place called Bleury Bar à Vinyl. Yeah. Very tiny bar where we kind of develop our whole like following, our sound, the way we animate, the way we host, like all this kind of thing, really developed our thing there. It was like at a small place, you get that lineup out the door, So it's like people are like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
What is this? You know?
Something's happening here.
Yeah, exactly. But you got to fill a giant venue. Well, then it's empty. It's like the same amount of people in the small venues. Like, this is lit, you know. So it's a different type of vibe.
Perception. Huh?
Yeah, exactly. So we got started there. We started doing it, and I would say something like less than 6 months after we'd started, we got booked at the Jazz Fest. No. So I was like, that's a real vindication that we're doing something right.
Yeah.
Right. Like we're on the radar somehow. Right. So we got that, and we kept pushing, and that's kind of been it. You know, just keep pushing it.
Listen, man, that's hip hop right there, man. That's a music tree right there. I don't know that's a word, music tree right there. Because the whole concept of it, of just a jam session, I think it's super dope. Now, David, we got to come up with an instrument. Does Bel Air make saxophones or something? We need a flute. I need a Bel Air. I think me and Vito be good on the flute.
That's a good question.
I don't want to be. I wish I could rap. Now I'm tight now because I can't play no instruments, and I want to take part in the Cypher. But I'm an amazing host. I can do that amazingly.
I mean, they could probably do the glasses or like maybe some kind of flute pipe. I don't know.
Yeah, but like, I don't think you have the patience
I gotta
to play
look
the
into it. I gotta look into it.
No,
but correct me if I'm wrong. You used to do Saturday nights at Bootlegger for a period of time, didn't you?
Saturday nights? No.
Was it Saturday night?
No, we were Thursdays. We were Thursdays at Bootlegger. So we started at, like I said, Belmont. Then we were at Blurry for a good 2 years or something like that. Then we switched. Long story, but Blurry closed. Basically, Blurry closed. We were like struggling to find a spot. We found Bootlegger, and we stayed there for much longer. Actually, that I think is where more we built the following, because it was a bigger venue.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Like Chris is one of my good friends. I used to work with him actually.
Chris Desjardins? Okay.
Yeah. He was one of my good friends.
Okay.
I still keep in touch with him all the time.
Nice.
And he'll let me hop behind the bar anytime I want. Like I used to go do Rockstar shifts on Friday nights after finishing at Bar George.
Okay.
I'd go and do the Rockstar shift to help him during the Friday night swing.
Yeah.
And he was just like, just come for that, stay till it dies down, and you don't even have to close. I'm like, you don't have to tell me twice. Great.
I'm not cleaning up nothing.
Great. I got to go and have fun, and he was telling me about Cypher.
Okay,
so
nice.
that's how I heard about it, and I checked it out a couple nights, and I was like, whoa, this is a following. Like I've never seen, like, you had to like cram yourself through there. And I was like,
we packed that place. Yeah.
It was great vibes. Man.
Well, like so obviously we had to get our knees cut off during the pandemic. But I remember it was like March 2020. Legault put out a thing saying, like, if you have events that bring like more than 250 or something like that, like, you should consider shutting it down. And at the time, I mean, this is like golden age of Cypher. We were bringing in 250 to 350 people every week.
Yeah,
you know, and I was like, oh God, like, you know, back then we're like, do we want to be a super spreader event? Like, let's not do. Remember all that stuff, you know? Like, we don't want to be in the news tomorrow.
Legault
right?
had everybody shook.
Yeah, you know. So and we were all like, oh, you know, maybe next week we'll be back. You know, like everybody was saying that, right? You know?
Yeah, everybody was.
So listen, there's no more COVID. We don't have to wait for 10-year anniversary tonight. Letting people know what they can expect, how they can get tickets, so they can tap in. What door is the Morning Detour coming in from? I want to come through the artist door. I want to be backstage. I want to feel the energy. I don't play no instruments.
I can't give the red carpet entrance on the air, man. We can get in trouble.
No. We'll talk after.
We'll talk afterwards.
Let the people know where is it happening.
Yes.
You know, highlight. You know, I know it's 46 people. Don't do all 40, but highlight some of the more known people. And
oh my God.
And what they can expect. I know they're gonna get mad. Who cares? You organize it.
This is terrible. Giving names, that's the worst. You're gonna get me in trouble.
Well, you already posted 22 billion people on IG.
That's true.
But as you should.
Yeah. So it's the Cypher X 10-year anniversary. Théâtre Fairmount. That's the old Club Soda, the old Cola Note, the old...
It's been many things.
It's been many things.
And it's right above the new PA.
Yeah, it's right above the new PA. That's true. Right on Park Avenue. I think it's like 5240 Park. I could be wrong. Look that up.
Oh, you Google it, guys. Google.
Yeah,
exactly.
She
just don't need to give.
She just says the name of the place. She's like, we all have smartphones. Just Google it.
Fairmount. At the Fairmount. So doors open at 9. We got Magnanimous on the 1s and 2s for the first hour, and then I don't want to give away what the pacing is, but then it's live band from 10 p.m. till 2 a.m. No stopping, continuous improvisation. I've been calling it a hip hop a spontaneously composed hip hop symphony in 4 movements. 4 hours with things to kind of move us in a different direction every hour. A lot of different guests involved. We've got I'm gonna get some people upset, but I gotta name some names anyway. Urban Science Brass Band is going to be there, of course. Asa from Toronto is going to be there.
Oh, Asa's coming up?
Asa's there.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, we've had her on the show, but I've never met her in person. Oh, I'm in the building.
She's going to be there. She's been coming for a long time. Hawa B is going to be there. Jermaine Holmes, who is a Grammy winner from he used to perform or does perform with D'Angelo and the Vanguard, Pete Rock. I'm forgetting names already. And then, the theme of the show is generations. So I really wanted to show a little bit of history in there. So we've got a little Team KVC, Team Calm Unity, little feature there with Dina, Miss DNA, Fabrice Coffey, and the incredible X-Swam.
X-Swam's going to be there.
X-Swam's going to be there. I can't wait because there's going to be so many people who are like, who's this? They don't know each other.
I don't know, but Serenity's definitely
Serenity's going to be there, and there's going to be all these younger generation who's like, who is this? What is he doing? How does he do? Like, there's going to be. I love it. I just love what's going to happen there.
Kid is this?
I need the Vince treatment.
It's going to be wild.
There's going to be Cynical. There's going to be Butter Beats. There's going to be.
You busy tomorrow? What's going on? I know. Mr. Bell. I know you be moving.
Tonight, not tomorrow.
That's in my backyard, man. That's my hood. I get my groceries at PA, man. Like, of course I could go there.
I'm pulling up. Listen, but I need the Vince treatment. You know what I mean? We'll talk, man.
We'll give you a little foot massage.
Don't
that's not what I'm asking for.
Don't you miss the records where all you have to do is hold the crate and you?
We coming in.
You know that trick.
But now everybody knows.
Give it away.
Wait. Hold on. You got a box of you got one of those boxes for sound equipment. Just roll up and you just start walking in. Nobody's gonna ask questions. Wear a black T-shirt. You're fine.
But I want to be in the back. I want to be around the artistry. I want to feel the magazine. I'm gonna talk to Vince after, man.
We'll make it happen.
Vince, let the people know. Are the tickets still available and where they can purchase the tickets?
I believe. Well, we'll see tomorrow morning, but hopefully there will be. Sorry, this is a pre-tape for those confused about what we're talking about. As of right now, the tickets are still available. And if I believe that no matter what, we're saving some to have a few at the door. I think that's the idea.
Okay, well, smart.
I think. But we're going to see what happens because if tomorrow it's like past the limit, well then we're done. You know what I mean? So get your tickets. You can find them urbsci.com, urbanscience.com, as well as all of our social media, Cypher X, Herbsci BB, all of those on everything, on Instagram, on Facebook, on I suppose technically we're on TikTok, but anyway, whatever.
Vince, you're a fascinating hip hop mind. We're not to lock you in the new year when we come out with Black Bottles Conversations because this is deep. Oh man, this is so deep, man. So the Cypher X tonight. We are going to come in the building. I need to see the instrumentation. I can play the drums a little bit. I ain't going to hold you. The Cypher X 10-year anniversary. Make sure you get your tickets. I'll put the link up on our link tree. Listen, while it lasts. It's the Morning Detour, the Mighty, CKT 9.3 FM, the best urban morning show in the country. You know how we do things. Moon Chaser, Vida.